Um, if you guys can hang out with us right now, we're going to go right over to our Dr. Connor. Dr. Connor, are you there? Brother Gary, are you with us?
Yes, we're here. Can you hear me, Willie?
Hear you loud and clear.
All
Okay.
right, we are live. Thank you, Willie. I love that song. We were dancing to it over here. So, hey,
Well,
this
they were
is
doing it in here too. You should have saw this guy. He was so animated. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Oh,
So, I listen. This is the Voice of the Kids radio segment for with Dr. Surajit Khanna. We are live on, as you know, on AM 930 WPAT radio every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 4:25, and Friday at 3:25. Join us live on Facebook.com/Khanna for Kids and other social networks. I want to introduce, we're going to get right into program, but I want to introduce Clem Yaboa and also John Marks and Hector. And I think we have Dr. Brown. Are you still on, Dr. Brown? I guess we lost Dr. Brown. So this is a continuation.
No, I'm sorry, I'm still here.
oh, she's here.
I'm just assisting my mother.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Hey, we
Hold on a
want to
second, I'm sorry.
connect with you
Good
because
afternoon.
we think that there's some synergies between where you are and what we're doing here in our post incarceration
Yes,
initiative. So we left
yes,
off last.
absolutely.
Thank you. So we'll get your contact information. John, we
Definitely.
left off. We kind of cut off John Marks and Hector. We didn't really get their stories that much because we just ran out of time because we have so much to talk about. Before we get there, I just want Clem to say a quick hello. Yeah, yeah. I can't see his face. It's too dark there. There you go. We need a light there.
Yeah, okay. Hello, everyone. You're welcome to this afternoon's program. And I really appreciative of the two young men with their music and everything. And I hope they would also participate in what we're going to be saying. And
oh,
so,
they're still here. Yes, absolutely. They're
yeah,
still
with
here.
that, let's go straight to John and Hector, and let's get this going.
So I'd like to start with you, John, if you don't mind. And I'd like to just hear what was on your heart to start this program that now Dr. Khanna is partnering with you, the Dr. Khanna's post-incarceration Juvenile Justice Reformation Act initiative. Boy, that's a lot of words. Basically, we're calling it the Returning Youth Campaign. Returning Youth Campaign. We're returning youth back to a valuable life. That's what we're doing. So I'd like to just hear your background, why you decided to get into this, and some of the experience you've had. Then I'd like to hear from Hector. Go ahead, John.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on today. The reason why I partnered up with Dr. Khanna was the industry that I'm in is a truck driving school because I have a lot of experience the last 40 years of driving and also a truck driving school for 25 years. And for 25 years, we've been recruiting and training people that had issues incarcerated. And after they leave incarceration, of course, they need a job to go to. So we've been doing that all along. So the whole purpose of this is, my motto is when you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want, whatever that is. Right, Willie?
You better believe it.
You got it. Okay. So if we all in agreement with this, then we all understand what to do, and this will succeed. Hector here is one of our individuals that about 4 years ago came to our school with some issues. We helped solve some of his issues. He became a student. I graduated and then became a trainer because there are so many individuals that he can reach out that I could not. He could communicate with them that I could not. So he points them out, then we talk about it and discuss it and help those lives succeed. And we have hundreds of those individuals the last 4 years that he has trained. So Hector, you're on. Say about yourself and how to help many succeed.
So
Loud.
like I told you guys before, I have a prior experience with incarceration, so I can relate to the individuals that come and also be able to help them and relate to them and help them get, what they want. Having a CDL has the opportunity to open other doors, and we're used to having doors closed or doors not being able to be opened or people telling us to go to another door. So I know what a CDL can do for someone who has a difficulty and someone who needs to grow to
You
a extent.
you stop the revolving door of going in, out of incarceration and back into incarceration. You talk about doors, this doors, but you're stopping the revolving doors, right, Hector?
Right. Yeah. Because I feel like the system is made for I mean, it's limited. It's limited in scope. So in order to broaden the scope, situations and initiatives like this need to be created, because the alternative is not positive. And whether people like it or not, these are the people that live next door to us, and these are the people that we call our friends. These are the people that are behind a cashier counter. It could be anyone. So if you help other individuals, you are indeed, like he said, you're getting what you need, which is a harmonious world.
So how long were you incarcerated for, Hector?
It was over a period of 8.
8 years?
Correct.
Wow. So when you came out, what was your hope? Where was your mindset? Because Dr. Khanna frequently says people are incarcerated mentally, even if they're physically out of jail.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that, because you have to function in a different environment. Like you're coming from one situation and you're coming to a new situation. You have to be able to function, and we don't know the nuances and the ins and out of post incarceration. So you have to figure them out as you go along. And a lot of people, we can see how they figure it out. Sometimes they don't have money, they'll go look for money. They don't have food, they'll go find food or steal food. They don't have a car, they find a form of transportation. Sometimes it could be legal transportation, sometimes it's illegal transportation. You know what I'm saying? Housing. Sometimes people don't have a house. They go in a tent, or they're homeless, or they're in and out of housing. Once you have a house, you have an identity.
That's
Once
true.
you have a place to call home, you feel, one of the needs are met. There's, the hierarchy of needs. You need housing, you need food, it's and a lot of places make room for housing, but it's a mismatch. It's a patchy system. It's very patchy. It's very patchy. And who suffers? Someone who doesn't know what to do, or doesn't have the drive or the positivity. They resort to their old behaviors.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask you a question, then, and Clem, I'll get right back to you, because I want Clem. I'll get back to you. I want you to tell how this initiative is going to close those patches. Okay, because I think what we're doing.
Before I do that, I want to ask him a question. I mean, how did he cope with this, transition, the social skills involved, the, living on his own and all that? How did he cope with that? How did he manage that?
Well, the word you're saying, coping mechanisms, is a big thing here. There's various forms. There's mental forms of it. There's also, let's say, for example, a support system of different sorts, whether that's a specific family member, whether that's techniques that we've learned from anywhere, whether it be mom, dad, a friend, a therapist, a law enforcement person. You're learning coping mechanisms from that. So a support system is definitely one important thing. Continually repeating these new behaviors that you've just learned. and checking in with other people. Counseling is definitely, it just reiterates and it kind of mimics a family. You know, that's why people feel comfortable talking amongst other people, especially people that they can relate to, you know. So those were a few of the coping mechanisms that I had. I had a support system. I had mental interventions, physical interventions, and having a track record of being able to repeat these things are all important. 3 little things that we can see that can help people out.
I want to talk about some of the gaps you were mentioning, gaps in the fabric, gaps that are missing when someone comes out of incarceration. Dr. Khanna recently launched his post-incarceration Juvenile Justice Reformation Act initiative. He can't be here today. We're calling it the Returning Youth Campaign. We're returning youth out of incarceration back to a meaningful life. We're going to provide post-incarcerated young adults housing. We're going to give them training, along with the required medical, psychological assistance needed so they can secure a job, build a career, and greatly improve their lives. Now, how long have you been associated with John Marks, Hector?
For 5 years.
Okay. And during those 5 years, how many post-incarcerated youths have you come across?
I probably have to say thousands, whether I came across with them through work or, you know, through other situations, thousands of people.
And I know that John Marks has put a number of people through his program, which we're partnering with. How many people roughly, John Marks, would you say you've kind of helped through that program?
Since I've been here, I probably have to say over 1,000.
1,000 youths out of incarceration.
Feels like 1,000. It feels like a lot of people.
And that's from last Tuesday, right? No, that's really good. Hey, is Dr. Brown still on? Dr. Brown, I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yes, I am.
I want to hear your perspective.
You just have to excuse my background because, like I said, helping my mom and my sister.
You gotta help your mom. You gotta help your sister. We just want to hear your perspective. You're from North Carolina, is that correct?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
What's your perspective on this, Doctor?
Yeah, without a doubt, there is a need for transitional and sustainable employment, housing, getting your driver's license, getting medical health care, you know, dental, you know, everything. And even the perspective of life skills, you know, learning, as a gentleman said, Hector, to be able to really unlive and unlearn what you've learned in jail or prison or detention center, that you don't have to always be, as I used to say to my high school students, on orange alert, that you can be able to come out and it's such a blessing that he's able to get that, what we call that social connection, you know, that support that he needed to help him transition in a very effective manner so that it decreases the likelihood of going back into the prison system, back into the penal system, you know. And so there is a great need, I mean, for many programs to be able to, that, you know, such as Dr. Khan's have, to implement and to help fortify and bring those who returning citizens back into the mainstream society so that they can achieve health and well-being and prosperity.
Well, Doctor, we have a couple of things coming up. We're going to have a press conference next week. It's probably going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. We haven't picked the date. And we're planning to have what they call a virtual dinner, virtual fundraising dinner, where we'll figure out a way to get something to eat to everybody, something delivered, or give them a credit card for a meal. It'll be in this day of COVID. We have to do those interesting things. So we want to connect with you, and we'd love for you to be involved. I'm going to ask Clem now. Clem, I'd like you to bring the audience up to date on the pilot program that Dr. Khanna has launched. Clem, the pilot program.
Okay. With this program, before I even get there, let me just point out to the audience that Hector's experience, 8 years in incarceration, that population, the statistics show that 89% of them go back to jail. 89%. So he has been and is one of the success stories, okay? That he's been outside for at least 5 years since he's been with John, right? Now, one of the key things that this pilot program is all about is providing the support structures for when they immediately they come out of incarceration. We receive them, we provide them housing, we provide them counseling, mental health counseling, career counseling. We also look at their health screening, that they have to go through dental, optical, whatever, physical health screening. Then they are also registered for health insurance. Now, these things are very basic and very fundamental. Once they've gone through that, then we are doing a career path training for them, and then we are providing them with on-the-job training. And following after the on-the-job training, we believe that the basic structures are in place. Once they are getting a reasonable salary, they can find housing. I forgot one thing: life skills training. 8 years behind bars means that you don't really remember anything about social media if it was there before you left. If you don't remember anything about how to use new technology, how to even navigate the locality in your place. So many years of confinement means that you've forgotten how to live in society. So now we bring you through a life skills coaching process. We teach you how to cook, we teach you how to wash, we teach you all those things almost as if you are a new baby, and then your life can start afresh.
Thank you, Clem. I very appreciate that. We are launching this program in New Jersey, in Elizabeth, New Jersey, right next to where John's company is. John's company is called Windsor Tractor Trailer Driving School in Linden, New Jersey. We're going to be working with him, and we appreciate his expertise and help. He's on our advisory council, so his experience is you talking about dealing with 1,000 of these youth. We can't touch that experience or anybody else, so we really appreciate that. We're also looking at White Plains, and eventually we're looking at Philadelphia. White Plains is New York. We're looking at Boston and Washington, D.C. So the plan is to find a building, a rental or a purchase, and place these ex-incarcerated youths in there with training and with all the things that Clem mentioned, to have the same experience, a positive experience that Hector had. And Hector, we may even need you to help us in different areas.
Yeah, Gary, I just want to point out that this is absolutely not a halfway house.
That's right. Thank you.
I want to make that distinction. In this house, we will have an adult person who will be a parent, so to speak, to these young men. They have an issue, they can ask questions. This parent figure will check on them in the mornings to make sure that, well, why are you, what is going on? You're sleeping late. I just want to make sure that everything is fine. It's not like you are mandated to wake up at 6 o'clock. No, I'm waiting for you till 12 noon. I haven't seen you. Is there anything wrong? Somebody to share the love, somebody to share the care, somebody to make sure that that individual's life is on track.
Hey, John, that's a good point. I'm sure you had situations where you had to show tough love, as they say, John. Is there any interesting stories you'd like success stories in addition to Hector you'd like to share?
Oh yes.
With me.
Throughout the months that we are here together, we went down to make sure he ties his shoes every day, the right outfit, the right haircut, seatbelt in his pants. And then he does okay for a couple of months or so, and then he slacks off again. I have to remind him again. He's like my child that needs to be brought up because he has an image to represent here at the driving school. If he looks good and if he acts good, the others will follow the same way. If he slacks off, in reality, if he slacks off, it's not his fault. It's my fault if I allow him to slack off. So once in a while, yes, we do kind of clap behind the head and you get it together.
And I think it's important.
He's an adult. He's an adult. He's not a child.
Well, did you hear that?
I saw that.
He makes a mistake.
Go ahead, Willie. Go ahead, Willie.
No, I saw that. John, that's the first time I've ever seen you physical.
I understand. And if you screw up, Willie, you get the same way. Don't screw up. I don't care how old you are.
You know, and I think this is important to realize right now, because this, I think, is something that we should duplicate in any way, shape, or form. This exchange right here is priceless. It carries you through the day. It makes you feel validated. It makes you know that there's somebody out there who's looking out for you. And I think a lot of people, they want to shoot money to a problem, or they want to shoot some type of check or something. No, the interaction, this exchange is what some people crave and they don't have it. Whether it's a mixture of financial advice, life skills, employment enforcement, as he does. You know, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, I consider myself a smart individual. I'm still continually building my bank of skills, you know, like he's a good example because he represents a specific figure in my life. He represents a specific goal that I want to do with myself. So watching him operate on a daily basis, having this exchange of love, having this exchange of accountability, that's something that, please guys, never forget that it needs to be duplicated on a moment to moment basis.
Yes. Now we're going to be running out of time, but what you just described to me was a caring father. That's all you did. You described a caring father, someone that says, I care for you, I'm going to look out for you, and if you listen to me, I'm going to make sure you get it right. Listen, this program, this is just the first part of it, but this program is going to be going over to quite a few states. We're going to duplicate it all around the country because it's needed. It's needed. A journey of 1,000 miles start with one step. And right now we have so many young youth. I got a couple of them that has just died. I got one that had a bullet in his head. I've been talking to you about him. He's 18 years old, and believe it or not, he has pulled through. He's doing very well. But the other two, we buried them. So this program is a lifesaver for so many others that we'll be able to help, and it's definitely needed. Listen, we're running out of time. I don't know when we can get back together and do this. I think we'll be able to do it this Friday.
Let me just give my contact information, please. If you want to get in contact with Dr. Khanna, contactk.com. Contactk.com. The website is Khanna for Kids, FOR Kids, and it's KHANNA. Please press on the donate button that's right there, and whatever's in your heart. And we'll be giving more information. We'll be on the air again this Friday. Thank you, Willie. Thank you, Clem. Thank you, John. Thank you, Hector. And thank you, Dr. Brown.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. We're going to be going over to the next hour after these station identifications, but we want you to stay with us. We have our TSAB, the young two men here that have come and into the station with